Hello and welcome to the Ellenmade Book Club. Today I'm doing a tag. I'm doing BookBuds' second original tag, which is all about my booktuber buds. Okay. I tried to say that like 8 times. Okay. So this tag has a bunch of questions about which booktuber bud you would like to have with you in different situations. And I always love these kinds of tags where I can like talk about other booktubers, but it also makes me feel bad that I can't like choose everyone. So if you're not mentioned in this video, that doesn't mean I don't love you. These are just my answers for this specific tag. So yeah, it's just for fun. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and then also by Renee at Beyond Books. If you're not following these channels that I'm mentioning, please check them out because they're all great and fantastic and amazing. And yeah, let's just get started. You're stuck on a deserted island and can only bring one booktuber bud, but all their books would come with them. Who would you want to be stuck with? If I could only bring one booktuber bud, I would say Pat at Book Chat with Pat. I do know she has a lot of books, and so that would be a great bonus for her to bring all of those books, and we would be entertained for however long we needed to be entertained. But I also think that we would enjoy each other's company on the island, and we would have a lot to talk about, and we would have skill sets that kind of complement each other. Like we would have different sets of skills, and that would be helpful. She has read The Wager, so she knows some things about being stuck on a deserted island. And she's also been a teacher in high school, so I trust her to be able to handle whatever comes our way. And yeah, I would go with Pat. You accidentally rob a bookstore with a booktuber bud by walking out with 100 books. You spend a year behind bars with them, but now you can read and do videos together. Who do you get locked up with? So the only one I can imagine this happening with is Mimi at It's Mimi Duong. She has a kind of slightly chaotic vibe, and I think that we could get distracted and accidentally walk out with 100 books. And, I think we would have a lot of fun making videos together in that jail cell. We have some overlap in our reading, like literary fiction and historical fiction. But then she also reads romance and mangas and things that I don't read that much of. And so I think we would complement each other nicely in that way in terms of like content. She's also very open-minded and willing to try new things in terms of her reading. And so I think that would be a lot of fun. We also tend to have really long conversations in the comment sections. So I think that we would never run out of things to talk about, which is good. But I also know that she's a bit of an introvert, so we wouldn't be talking all the time. Like there would have to be moments of quiet as well, or we would both go mad, I think. So yeah, I think that Mimi would come to jail with me. You magically get trapped in a murder mystery you're reading. Another booktuber bud joins you to solve the mystery. Who do you want to join you? I would hope that Nicky at My Messy Bookshelf would come to help me figure out this mystery. She's very well read on Agatha Christie and other mystery authors and novels, and so I think that she would be able to spot the solution pretty quickly. I also think that I would feel very safe with her. She's very kind and clear in her communication, and I think that she would be able to protect me if things got out of hand. You magically get trapped in a fantasy novel, fighting dragons and casting spells. Which booktuber bud do you choose to bring in with you to save the day? So I would call in a team to help me. I think that's called for when you're dealing with dragons. I would ask Maeve and Melanie and Shawnna and Kat to help me. I feel pretty confident that this team could handle whatever happens, and I think that they would complement each other pretty well. Maeve reads fantasy and thrillers and classics, and so I think that she has a pretty good grasp of anything that could happen, and I don't think that she scares very easily. Kat reads fantasy and also a lot of interesting nonfiction, and so I think that would come in handy for like logical thinking and problem solving. Melanie reads fantasy and also literary fiction and like lots of dark and weird books, and so I feel like she would be prepared whatever comes our way. Even if the rest of us are like, what is going on? She's like, I've seen that before, it's fine. And Shawnna, apart from living in fantasy, I feel like she has a very good grasp of like creatures and like finding out how they function and all of that. And she's also interested in like crafts and creative things, and so I feel like if there's ever a creative dragon, she can like lure them in to do some crafts, and then the rest of us can like just walk around them and get to the treasure or whatever. You are stuck in the cloud of sadness, hitting a reading funk, and feeling totally uninspired. Which booktuber bud can pick you up with their positivity? For this one, I would definitely say Chelsea at Libraries and Lattes. She has a very similar personality to mine, but I think she's a lot sweeter, and she is always very kind and has a lot of kind things to say, and she doesn't like hold back. I feel like a lot of people are almost afraid to say something kind or nice, and she isn't, or maybe she is, but she just says them anyway. And so I think that if I was in a funk, she would be able to be kind and positive and uplifting without being like annoying, because I feel like she would get me in that situation. And so let me be grumpy for however long I needed to be grumpy, and then I could be happy again, you know? I also have to say Renee at Beyond Books. She has been through some tough things recently, and she has just shown so much resilience and positivity through that. I know she has also been sad and mad about that, so I know that she understands those emotions, but I also know that she knows how powerful and helpful mindset and humor can be to get through hard times. So I definitely think that she could get me out of any kind of funk that I might find myself in. She might have more of a tough love or like dark humor kind of approach compared to Chelsea, for instance, but you know, sometimes that's necessary too, and I can definitely appreciate that as well. I'm also going to squeeze in a third person, and that is Mariandrea from Books and Bocadillos. She just has so much kindness and understanding about her, and so I think that she's definitely a good person to have around if you're ever in a funk. I know she has experience of therapy, and she's also a foodie, and everyone knows that good food gets you in a good mood. So your arms are in a cast for 2 months, and a booktuber bud is going to edit all of your videos for you. Who edits them and why? I would ask Kat at Curious Cat to edit my videos for me. I think we have a kind of similar editing style, and so I feel like it would be very easy for me to explain what I wanted, and I think that she could do a really good job with that. I also think it's a very vulnerable thing to do, to hand over your raw footage, especially with someone like me who messes up a lot. So there's a lot of trust involved in that transaction, like handing over my footage for her to edit and trusting her to not embarrass me, like pick out the funny parts and like not make me look bad. So yeah, I would ask Kat to help me with that. You press a button and instantly have read all the books that a booktuber bud has already read. Which bud would you pick and why? So for this one, I have two people. The first one is Bryndis at Bryndis, daughter of Gunnar. We have a lot of books that we both like, and so I feel like we have a similar taste, but she also has an interest in reading classics, which I really don't, but I would like to have read them. I'm not interested in spending my time reading them. I would love to just like import that knowledge and experience into my brain. And I also know that she is a bit of a scaredy cat like me, and so I know that she hasn't read too many scary things, so I wouldn't like infuse myself with too many scary things if I picked her. The other person is Sui at Sui's Book Banter. She has read a lot of books that I want to read, and so I might be doing myself a disservice by like importing all of that without reading it, because I think that she has read a lot of good books that I would be interested to read, but like I can't possibly get to all of the books that I want to read in my lifetime, so that might be a good shortcut. She reads a lot of YA and romance, and so I think that some of the books I would maybe not want to spend my time reading, but I would think that like she just seems so happy when she reads happy books. So I think that if I could just like import all of the books that she has read, that would fill up my happy. So yeah, I would definitely want to import all of the books that she has read. And she's also like run a book club for however long and a blog and all of that. And so yeah, she's read a lot of books. And if you haven't checked out her channel yet, please go ahead and do so. And like that goes for all of these channels that I have mentioned. I think those are all of the booktuber buds that I would ask to help me in these situations. I know some of you have already done this tag. If you haven't, you are tagged. If you want to do it, there's no pressure. You're just the person that I thought of for these questions. And if you're watching this video and I didn't tag you, please consider yourself tagged anyway. If you want to do it, that's completely fine. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome to the ellenmade book club. I don't have it. Hello and I would like, I think there's fire involved, but like involved. Okay. I would be I don't. The first one is Bryndis at Bryndis, daughter of Gunnar. It's difficult to switch. Okay.